Well, I've had a couple of people ask me about doing a follow-up on how we keep our books. And so what I'm going to do today is just give you a brief rundown, I hope it's brief anyway, of the basics of what I've done. So let's just, cut to the chase and get with it. Across the top here, row number 1, if you click on the number, it will highlight the entire row. Okay, so row number 1 is just where I put my headers. It's one cell all the way across, and it goes down. What is that? It's 1,048,576 cells. You can just go 5,000. Say the information you wanted equals, this cell equals the sum, parentheses C4, colon, C5000, parentheses. And then that would cover 5,000 of these cells, and everything you put in there would add up and run a total at the top. So let's go here now to cell 2. Cell 2 is where I'm putting my information. Like I said, the top ones are the headers. This is what the information for that column is for. This is the header, the information for the whole section, those 3 columns combined. Okay, that'd be pro number, your run number, your bill of lading number, ever how you want to lay that out. Your pickup and delivery would go here, yada, so forth and so on. I'm trying to cut to the chase on this, so I might sound like I'm trying to be really quick with it or not want to give too much information, but anyway, here is the information header. This lets us know that everything to the right of this cell are running totals, all the way down to the FedEx deductions. They're running totals. I put red where numbers will be subtracted. Green are monies. Okay, so like your total pay is where your total pays will be added up, and your gross pay is going to be the same thing. This cell, if you'll look right here, this cell is equal to plus C3. That means all I'm going to do is just add C3 there. Okay, so all I'm doing. Okay, this here is a whole slew. You can double click each cell and it'll tell you what it consists of. It's a whole slew of them. If you look back up here, this cell equals the sum of parentheses Q3 minus E3 minus F3, G3. So all these numbers are minusing. But when you come here, that number there is Q3, this number that goes in here, this number minus anything that's put in these red cells. And then it shows up in here as your net pay. So it's deducting. It's very simple. Very, very simple. So laying out your cells. So if you'll notice, this cell here is wider than these cells. This cell here is wider than this cell. It's very, very simple. Remember that Control Z. If you make a mistake, don't hit your back button. Control Z reverses what you just did. So I'm going to show you here. If you'll go up here to the top, you can see where I'm highlighting these things. Go to the top right here, where the line comes out beside each alphabet. In between B and C is a line. Put your cursor on it until you get the arrows to move left or right. I can make that cell as wide as I want it to be, or as narrow as I want it to be. Remember, Control Z, it goes back to normal. You didn't mess up anything. Same thing anywhere else. I want to move that cell. Now look how wide he is. Okay, same thing on the side. Look over here where I am now. I'm right here. It's number 5. Say I needed cell 5. Say I want it to be as wide as 3 cells. Okay, as deep as 3 cells. There you go. Look how wide and look how deep that cell is now. 5. It's thick cell. Look at it. Okay, Control Z will reverse that. Okay, so let's move on. This column here, the entire column, this entire row, column, all the way up and down here. This entire column, if you go to format the cells, it'll tell you that this column is set for currency. The entire column. Okay, think about how many you want to do. Left click it and just drag it. And if you're using a mouse pad on a laptop, like I am, you just put it there and just let it run. Okay, that's one way to highlight all the cells, click here, and shift, sorry, not control, shift. And you just want to go down to how many you want. Let's just stop right here. This is 67. Now it highlighted all of them. Okay. Now you right click, or you don't have to right click. You can come over here. Watch where the mouse is. The cursor is sitting here, and hit format there. So we're going to format the cells. Right now, this is it's set for currency. It says decimal places 2. That means that I want to show the change on the end. We do want the dollar symbol, so we put that in there. Okay, this is how you're setting up this entire row. Okay, so I'm going to cancel because I don't want anything to change. But that's how you do it. And you can click that control, go all the way down here to the bottom. Bring this, just drag it all the way to the bottom. And look at there, we're at the very bottom. Click it again. That entire row, is highlighted. Now you can come back over here. You can drag it back to the top. It's not going to change. It's still highlighted until you click a cell somewhere else or move your arrow keys to move off this cell right here. Okay, so if you wanted to make this cell monetary, you can come over here. Or if you wanted to put a formula in there, you can do auto sum, or you can just type the formula in yourself right there. Let's move on. We're getting too tied up into that one. Like I say, these are category. When you do your setup on these, always, when it's worded, and this is words, this top one here is a description row. Okay, in my description row, always with words, you center them. Okay, horizontal, center, vertical, bottom. You want it to sit on the line. You want it centered. Boom, and it is centered in that cell. Okay, now your currency, you want to go right, indent right. Let me put in here 23,544.0. Okay, that way it keeps you the cent over to the far right here. Okay, so we can take this out, just Control Z. If you made a mistake in Control Z something, just go Control Y and it'll pop it right back up there. Control Z. Okay, so remember these, your descriptive cells, center them because they are general. Right here, they're general, and these are currency. So you want to always line those up to the right. You want to line these up to the center. You want to show your dollar sign. Remember, go down here, format your cell, format, alignment. Okay, your number right there is what you want to check when you're doing this. You want it to, your alignment, you want it to align right. So you want it to indent to the right. Don't worry about any of this stuff, any of the rest of the stuff. You're not going to need it. That's more advanced than what you're going to be doing. You can select your font. You can, if you want to use a different font, you can go bold, italic, or whatever, and you can do font size. Okay, again, we discussed borders. This is where you fill. Yeah, we got to mention that too, don't we? This is where you select your colors to fill that cell. I can change that cell to blue right now. And if I click OK, look at it. It's blue. Okay, but I want to change that back to pink, so I just go Control Z, and it changes me back. Okay, that's pretty basic. We're going to work with E right now. Okay, E, if you look right here, where I just highlighted it, it's always going to say equals to sum. This cell equals to sum, and see how it highlighted this whole column? Because of what I did, I just double click. It tells me right here what the deal is with this cell, and it shows me how far down the formula runs. Okay, so it's E is equals to sum of E4 colon E 1048 yada yada all the way to the very bottom. Okay, remember the formula itself, what you're describing must be in parentheses, or it's not going to work. Okay, Okay, it's going to be the same for all these. Every one of these are the same. That equals the sum. This cell right here, which is cell 3, G3. Okay, G3 is, it equals the sum of this one plus anything that's added in any one of those other cells. So it doesn't have to be in order. 34, it's going to do monetary, so it gives me $34. If I go down here, I'm going to do 34 again. It's monetary, so it's going to be $34. That's 68. It's showing right here. It's going to do all the way down the entire cell. So I do Control Z 2 times, and it changes everything. Okay, same thing here, all the way across. This one here is the same thing. Equals the sum. This cell equals the sum of parentheses, this number, plus anything that's added in this whole row, whole column, all the way down. It's like column C. We're going to go over to here. This has nothing to do in here. None of these are, this is all general, because nothing goes in this column. Nothing will ever go in here. I don't add anything into this column, and I don't add anything into this column, okay? So they don't work. The only thing that works is the description of the column and the entry of the column. And these two here are just playing off of everything else across here, okay? From here all the way to here, and including this top number here, okay? So this number here is just a copy of that. So you want to say equal plus C3, okay? And that's going to be that. I'm going to leave it there for a second so you can maybe write it down or see it, whatever you need to do. Remember, Q3 is just a copy of C3. And I just have that so I can see them together down here. I had the space. I could remove it and bring all this back over, but I don't need to. I want it there. I just want to make sure, you know, that you guys are actually getting it. And then you can just plug these numbers in, create your own stuff to look the way you want it to look. Play with it, you know. Just don't put any numbers in until you're finished playing with it. You know the layout's the way you want it. Spend a little time with it. You know, you'll create something fancy that you really like. But remember, just go through here, get these cells. Remember what it is. Equals the sum. This cell here, H3, equals the sum of H4, which is the one below it, and anything else thereafter, all the way to, it says colon plus colon. That's why I guess what that means. H4 colon through H1048 576. That's going to be 1,048,576. Okay. Okay. I hope that helped you out on that. Remember, I'm clicking on these and I'm leaving them up there for a second so that you can actually keep pausing the video and writing these numbers down if you need to. You know, you can pause the video right here. Okay, I hope you wrote the numbers down. This, like I say, this is just a header, kind of like information what is represented in that entire column. Okay, this is very basic. This one here is just putting the numbers, you know, putting in your numbers. If you notice, these cells do nothing but just hold a number, hold a currency. Up here you can see that they're all going to be representing currency. Okay, here's where the work is done. This one little cell. Okay, we want this cell to equal, look up here, follow me up here. We want this cell right here to equal the sum of H, right there, H, and it's doing the whole thing. I mean, I just didn't bother to do H, to start at H3. Okay, so that cell is representing, okay, let me back that up. Okay, this cell is at anything that's in H all the way down, H through H, H through H. Okay, very simple. Lay it out the way you want it. In whatever column you're going to be putting your costs for description of services, for every column, for every cell in that column, just go over here where you're going to run your total. Just a running total. It'll continue to add up throughout the year. Okay? Total year-to-date expenses on your vehicle only. Highlight that. Go up here. You want that to equal the sum of. Okay? Now we know we can go in here and do it ourselves because we're just going to do H:H. Okay? Boom. That right there now represents every number that's put in here. Okay? 33 should say 66. There it is. Let's go way down here. 33 should say 99. There it is. Control Z 3 times and you're back to normal. Okay? Very basic. Very, very basic. Now we're over here. Let's run through this real quick. This is all, this cell, this one here is date, your pro number. I went through this all the other day. I skipped a line, so just so that I could separate the 2 miles. I didn't want them to kind of like run together, so I put deadhead miles, a space, and then loaded miles. Just personal preference. This is the way I like it. If you see right here, see what that says? Hashtag divided by 0 exclamation mark. Okay? That's just what it's going to do, and it's just to show you before you start that this is a formula for percentage. Okay? That's just what it does. I don't know why it does it, but that's just what it does. No biggie. No big deal. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about the little thing over here. It's just asking you something. Do I want to divide by 0? Help on this? Just forget it. Just ignore the error. And you can actually tell it that too. You can actually tell it. Just ignore the error. Just ignore it. See? Now it doesn't come up anymore. The little thing doesn't come up over here anymore. Okay. To get your average. Okay, you're going to put your miles in here. Right? This is representing this column. This box I'm talking about, G3 is what this is, equals the sum of I3 plus K3. I3 plus K3. Okay? What it's doing is it's adding. It's adding. See the plus sign? It's adding what goes here and what goes there, and it's putting them there. And that's this one right here is the sum of everything in column C. So there equals the sum of C through C. Bam, all the way down. Okay? This is the sum of E, being that this is column E. This is the sum of E through the whole column E. Okay? You getting that? I hope so. I can't hear you responding. So, and then these two added together, which shows you by the value here, I3 plus K3. I3 plus K3 will show up here. Now, the total pay is everything added together. This one here, M3, equals the sum of F, column F, through column F. Everything in here gets added together. And it's recorded over here. Right there. Okay? So now, to get your average, you have to divide your total pay by your total miles. Okay, so let's look at this. Now we're highlighting average. At this cell equals, in parentheses, always in parentheses, this cell equals M3 divided by G3. M3 divided by G3 is going to give you H3. Okay? That's pretty basic. We don't have to go through the layout. You design it the way you want to. Just design it the way you want to. Lay them out. Do whatever you want to there. That's the only reason I came back to this page. Is this is where somebody I was talking to Tuesday of last week was having an issue. So I actually just wrote the formulas down for them the way they should work. And then just whatever cell. Their G3 might actually be that they're not going to keep. They might keep up with more information. So their G3 may actually be I3, and their H may be J, and their I may be K, so forth and so on. But those are the numbers you're going to punch in there. That's how you lay the formula out right there. Okay, whether it's I3 plus K3 or H3 plus L3, either way, it's going to be the same thing. So I hope this helps you. I hope I didn't ramble on and confuse you, which I probably did. I'm sorry if I did. Per mile average, the vehicle expenses, and then you got your running totals here. Okay, I've done a lot of changes, just by showing you guys stuff. So you go to close it out, and it's going to ask you if you want to save those changes. I say don't save. We don't save. We don't have anything saved. Okay, so I hope that helped out. I'm going to edit this right quick and send it out. And like I say, I hope it helped you, and I hope it didn't confuse you. If it confused you, leave a message in the comments below, and I will try to answer the questions and re-elaborate. All right, so adios, compadres. Please like and subscribe if you're not, and we appreciate it. Have a good one.